Welcome back to Nasapunk. So, I'm excited because I went back over the gameplay trailer with a fine-tooth comb and I found a ton of interesting things I've never noticed before. So let's start from the beginning of the trailer, but stick around to the end because it gets really interesting. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Here in the opening sequence, upon landing on Crete, moon of Ansalon, as you're walking out of the ramp or cargo bay of the ship, you can see what looks like tire tracks. Does this mean we'll have access to some kind of land vehicle or rover for traveling across the terrain of planets and moons? Mass Effect vibes, anyone? Okay, this one's a little obvious, but since I've heard speculation about whether or not Starfield will have a photo mode, rest assured, it will. The research station on Crete is run by a company called AXION. This company also seems to be the manufacturer of the outpost building equipment in the base building segment of the gameplay trailer. This company seems to operate under the umbrella of the United Colonies, which makes me think that Constellation also does. The Crete research station itself seems to be dedicated to studying the indigenous flora and fauna, among other things. There's a sign in this hallway that says, "Don't touch the animals." This creature in a case behind the two pirates, I believe, is the same creature here. Also, above the orange gun case in this room, there's a whiteboard with a drawing of a creature with scientific data written around it, and a title above that says, Experimental Analysis of Selected Clone Cell. Is this AXION research station cloning alien creatures or genetically mutating them somehow for research or even combat purposes? Fallout vibes, anyone? It seems like a lot of people are saying that Starfield has no blood or gore in it, and are seemingly worried about Starfield taking a much more tame approach to violence than Bethesda's previous titles. Well, if you break down the combat scenes in the trailer, you can clearly see blood spatter from the pirates while being shot. It doesn't necessarily splatter everywhere and leave bright red blood trails on the walls and floor, but this could just be due to the development cycle and possibly prioritizing this feature for late phase development. Remember, the gameplay trailer did premiere over 8 months ago, and many things in the trailer will significantly improve or change in the final release. I also believe that's why the smoke from the player's jet engines will not be choppy and low-res looking in the final release. When encountering pirates from the Crimson Fleet, they're always labeled as pirate when engaging with the player character, except for this one pirate whose name, Brogan, seems to signify some level of importance for this character. Was there something unique or significant about this particular pirate, or is he some kind of mini-boss? I hope not, considering he only seems to be armed with a knife. Interestingly enough, right after killing this character, the screen shows an objective complete called One Small Step, as if taking out this pirate was part of a mission objective. Curious, could this pirate also be this stone-cold killer? In the segment of the gameplay trailer where the player ship lands in New Atlantis, the ramp coming off the landing port takes you directly to this scene here, meaning this footage of the spaceport is likely the first scene you're faced with in New Atlantis, and I feel like this is intentional. There seems to be almost an eerie level of tension if you really pay close attention to what's in this scene. The signs read,
Notice to visitors, no entry for passengers without valid visa for interplanetary passage. Prohibition on all audiovisual recording without permission of UCSS. Arrivals, proceed to security screening. Warning, do not proceed, trespassers will be prosecuted. Security checkpoint, you will be scanned. All bags subject to search, all threats taken seriously.
Good God, Half-Life 2 vibes, anyone? Hey, if you've enjoyed the video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content like this. Thanks. Okay, check out this frame where we can see a picture on the wall inside the Constellation headquarters, just over the shoulder of this woman. I believe this is possibly the founder of Constellation. The glowing star or halo behind his head would signify that this person is of great importance, especially since the other pictures on the wall here don't have this. Everything in this room is antiquated for this time, from wooden bookcases to old-fashioned lamps, coffee tables, and models of old seafaring vessels. I have a feeling Constellation's kicking it like Will Smith in iRobot.
Thing of beauty.
Also, because this base of operations is at New Atlantis, home of the United Colonies, like I said earlier in the video, it just makes me think that Constellation, like AXION, is also under the umbrella or influence of the United Colonies. Alright, based on the last Constellation Questions video featuring lead quest designer Will Shin, we know that this is a city on Mars called Cydonia. Aside from the Mars rover, I wonder what else we'll find here in the so-called old neighborhood of our original solar system. I'm not sure what location this is necessarily, maybe Neon City, but if you look closely on the wall here, you can see some graffiti that says "No Imperials" on an arm that's stabbing through someone or something, and the knife is labeled UC. This is clearly anti-United Colonies artwork here, suggesting that the UC are seen in many parts of the galaxy as oppressive and militaristic. This draws a stark contrast between the Freestar Collective, who are seen as protectors of the people, or possibly freedom fighters, and seem to have a more defensive and less proactive approach to threats in general. If this isn't giving you Skyrim vibes, then go look up the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. Eventually, the tension between United Colonies and the Freestar Collective would boil over into the bloody colony war of 2310, 20 years before the game takes place. Okay, and last but certainly not least, there's several things to mention here in Aquila City, one of which presents a very interesting prospect or potential gameplay mechanic. First off, we have this lady to the left of the player character. Is this the woman from Constellation we saw earlier? If so, does that mean she'll be a companion you can travel with in Starfield? Also, if you look close enough to the towering building in the middle, there's a sign above the door that says The Rock. This footage is apparently from the interior of that building. With a name like The Rock, it almost sounds like some kind of maximum security prison.
You made the right choice.
Though it's likely a kind of military command center, especially since there seems to be armed guards and a poster on the wall about feeding the front lines. For the last thing here, and I thought this was very interesting, if I do say so myself, is the building to the far right. All you can make out is the words, "The Hitching." I seriously doubt this is a wedding chapel, so the most logical name for this building would be the Hitching Post. Why is that relevant, and what does that mean? Well, a hitching post is actually defined as a post to which a horse or other animal may be tethered to prevent it from straying. Hold on. Are you telling me it's possible we might get to ride horses or other alien creatures in this game? Please don't tell me this is just some lame reference to old Earth culture, and this is actually just a grimy pub where the town doomsayer goes to get wasted on the daily.
We are but maggots, writhing in the filth of our own corruption.
Okay guys, that's it for the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, and smash that subscribe button, and smash that share button. Just smash. Smash it all.
Smash.
I hope you learned something new, or maybe you already knew most of this, and I completely wasted your time. Sorry. But I found so many things I wanted to mention that I had to split this up into 2 parts. So look out for even more things you missed, coming soon as we look forward to the future.